The following is a podcast from a qualified senior care provider heard on the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we are here with Allyson Schrier, my wonderful friend. I am so honored to share you with our audience. And Allyson is the CEO and founder of Zinnia TV. And Allyson and I have been talking about her amazing TV channel, which is not even a channel. It's got programs underneath its umbrella, but it gives our people that are dealing with dementia something to watch that's good for them, that is inspiring, that's nurturing, that's positive, and it helps the brain that is dealing with a dementia or a brain, memory loss, the ability to track. And I think that's what's really important. Allyson, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. So good to be here.
I'm going to ask you just a general question. What's a typical day like for a caregiver that lives at home with a loved one who has mid to advanced stages of Alzheimer's? I know it's kind of a general question.
Yeah. Of course, all dementias are different, and all people living with dementia are different. So I can speak primarily to my experience. That said, I do work with a lot of families. So I've heard lots of people's stories. And I would say that a consistent theme is always being a little bit on edge, being tired, because a person who is living with dementia might have issues with sleeping. And as the care partner, you have a lot on your mind. And so you might not be getting the best sleep every night. You might have somebody who's getting up in the middle of the night, like my husband would get up and start putting on his clothes or start taking a shower at 3 o'clock in the morning because he was just confusing day and night time. And so in a typical day, I would be really conscious of the fact that I had things that I needed to get done. And now bear in mind, it was a little different for me because I had kids at home, right? My kids were 15. And so
you had to take care of the kids too.
Right. So taking care of them and taking care of him, and always being in his case, a little bit on edge because I never knew exactly what was going to happen. There's this unpredictability that kind of keeps one on edge a bit. So it might be that he starts looking at his phone and he can't do the thing that he needs to do, so he suddenly starts getting very upset. Or it might be that we are sitting at the breakfast table and he says something that is just wildly inappropriate for a 12 and a 15-year-old to hear, and I need to suddenly kind of like bring things back to normal. It's about trying to figure out, how do I respectfully allow him to maintain his dignity as we try to get through the day? And help him accomplish the tasks that he can no longer do without making him feel like he's a baby and that he's being taken care of instead of being supported. So being consciously aware of not just his emotional and social needs, but also his physical needs, like, wow, has he been to the toilet yet? Do we need to go to the toilet? He's starting to smell a little bit. Starting to get a little upset because I'm not sure how that shower is going to go. Feeling like you can never get, you don't have enough time to do all of the things that you need to do. You don't get a lot of breaks because many people find that their person who's living with dementia lives in a state of underlying anxiety because they're not quite sure about the world, right? The world doesn't make sense anymore. And you, my caregiver, are my anchor. And so I'm going to follow you everywhere that you go. And I might take the initiative to start doing things on my own that are dangerous to me or dangerous to the house. And so therefore, as the care partner, caregiver, we are vigilant, hyper vigilant about what are they doing. When they're with us, it slows us down and keeps us from being able to do all the things that we need to do. When they're
Yeah.
not with us, we're constantly worried about what are they doing and what trouble might they be
Mhm.
getting into.
Yeah. Well, and I think what you're saying is I mean, my mom had vascular dementia and it wasn't extreme by any means, but there was still this situation of, when the house cleaner would come in to the house to help clean the house, she was insistent that they're snooping through her things. And it's like,
Oh,
Mom,
yeah.
they're not. But it's like, how do you deal with that kind of tension? It's constantly like they see things in a totally like, where did you come up with this, Mom? I don't know. But that's the thing. I think, Allyson, what you're talking about, I think in many ways, there's this vigilance of, not only do I allow her dignity, but on the other hand, we have to let the person come in and and clean the house. Or Mom, you have to go take a shower. No, I'm not going to take a shower. Yes, I will. How can we get, how do we do this? So we're constantly trying to reinvent ourselves, and the situation, or, try new techniques to convince. And it's really, really this constant thing of, well, maybe this will work. Well, maybe that will work. So it's just all this uncertainty and overwhelm.
Well, so what you are reminding me of, though, first of all, I'm sort of getting a little stressed out even talking about this.
Sorry.
But one of the things that's so important is caregiver education.
Yeah.
So as a caregiver, so there actually are techniques, like there are tools and techniques that allow us to maintain to lower our own anxiety while supporting a person who's living with dementia. I think where a lot of people run into trouble is that they try to change things. And they also, that they sort of in the background, they just keep thinking that this person could do better if they only tried harder. Like or they blame them, right? Like they feel like there's something that willful about their actions. And there's not. This is a person whose brain isn't working. And so in this pairing of the caregiver and the person who they're caring for, somebody's got to change. And it needs to be the person whose brain is working.
Yeah.
And so therefore, I highly recommend that people who are in a position of being a caregiver learn how to be a more effective caregiver.
Yeah.
So I think of sites like, now, of course, as you cited, right, there are so many caregivers. It's not just about caregivers with dementia. So there are 11 million people who are giving care in the United States to people with dementia specifically. But there are many more people caring for different things, for people with different types of issues.
Sure.
But I think of things like the UCLA has fabulous videos that are about how to teach you how to give better care. DSHS here in Washington State has a website that's filled with resources. Everybody who's living with dementia should know about Teepa Snow, right? And so her
love Teepa.
videos,
and she has a YouTube channel, by the way.
Yes, she does. And her TikTok stuff is pretty amazing. If you are comfortable with that format. And so I really do highly, highly recommend also joining a support group so that you can get tips and tricks from other people.
Absolutely. So obviously we're going to be coming back this next segment and talk about a little bit about how Zinnia TV can help not only those that are dealing with dementia, but also the family caregiver, care partner. And Allyson, it's so great again to have you on this show, and we're looking forward to having you back next segment right after this. We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.